Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Morocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th division, and Jessica Arael Morocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 and the Merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today in Disclosures. We have an update from Peter the Insider, and without further delay, we're going to get right into it and welcome in Peter. Hello Peter, how are you today?
So I want to say thank you, or let's say big thank you for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel again and to make the show. Let's say I really want to say that this will be a lie. Problem is it is not, or it will be not. Because okay, first things first, we will talk about time. But let's start this from another point of view. We've got, let's imagine we've got materials, right? Mm-hmm. And all the materials, they've got their own limit of toughness. You've got certain point of pressure and all kind of that stuff, and till then they start to break, they start to bend, and all kind of that stuff. Okay, it's physical characteristics. Okay, and let's say, long story short, this was the easiest and the fastest example possible. And let's say if we will consider time as a material, I don't want to say this, but let's say, okay, the time had, this is it, had, and I will tell you and all of our listeners why I said had in a past time. Had its own limits, because we've got leap year. This year, it is a leap year, and like it or not, time cracked. It went to crap exactly February 29th. What does it mean? That crazy stuff can happen. There can be missing time, not only for minutes or hours, but I am talking about days, maybe even weeks. What does it mean? Not for, let's say, in general purposes, if we want to say that way. But if certain people are in tie wrap, aka, long story short, if somebody is targeted individual in this program, there will be no single problem for those negative corporations to not use, but to misuse those people. They don't even need to delete their memories. They will simply use it. They will use it, aka misuse it, this new characteristic of time, and that's the problem why I was so afraid to say hello to people, because people will hate this. But what the heck should I do once this happened? What the heck? Should I stay silent? No. I need to warn all of our listeners about this. This is not like, hey, I am always here to say bad news bears, but that's the problem. And just because we will not talk about bad things, those bad things will never ever vanish. You know it. I know it. It is like how it is.
Yeah, it's true.
So, because I was like, or let's say we were like, nah, this maybe can happen, maybe not. This time crash or something like that. And I was like, oh my God. It happened in so many places. It is pretty much like a puzzle. You've got a huge picture, what is pretty much like plate of time. And it is pretty much like you've got a huge plate of I don't know, glass, or let's say you've got a huge mirror, right? And you just smash it, you know, on the floor. And do you know what I mean? You know what happened? It will break. And you are like, oh my God, what the heck is going on? And it is impossible, literally impossible, to get it together again correctly, okay? And this is what happened. My oh my, this is absolutely crazy. And just by the way, because we know what my wife Chloe can do with the time, so she told me, oh my God, it happened. And I was like, hey, please, because she was very uncomfy. I mean, like out of comfort zone, literally like wiped out of comfort zone in last few days. And it is not because we are in this crazy, creepy, weirdo reality in this mission, but she is very sensitive towards time. And I was like, oh, hey, what the heck is going on? And then she connected to this ET, I don't know what is his name or her name. It pretty much it doesn't have gender, you know, what so forth. Because we know that certain ETs doesn't have proper gender. Do you know what I mean? Because we know that they've got many genders and we cannot, how can I say it, properly recognize them. Do you know what I mean? And he or she, what so forth, it is her guide, and it said that it is that we should be aware that why nobody talks about time. And I was like, hey, stop. What do you mean? You never talk that time quotes in quotes is in danger. And we were like in ACIO, and it said because you never was focused in the time. And that's the stuff. Like I was talking many times that what we know, or let's say what we consider time, how we are imagine, or let's say what is in our imagination as time, it is just, you know, certain stuff. It is a point, what is right here right now, you know, it is current time. Then if we go to left, it is a past, and if we go to right part, it is the future, or it will be the future. Do you know what I mean? And I said, no, none of this is true. It is much more complicated. Maybe if you want, maybe we can go more in depth. But I was, because we were talking about so many stuff. You know it. Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
it.
We've talked about a lot of things.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, we've talked about a lot of things. We have talked about time anomalies in slips throughout the the past. Time travel, we've talked about time slips where people are missing time or have been pulled into other realities. We've talked about the importance of time in that if there is a problem, that, I mean, that's a huge problem. It's not a minor issue because everything of our existence is based on time.
Yes, you are right. And that is the stuff. Yeah. But I was like, hey, none of this can, let's say, can be that kind of big problem for time itself. Do you know what I mean? That I believed that it is, let's say, rock hard. Do you know what I mean? It is not a big deal. Time will be always time. Do you know what I mean? And now I am like, oh my God, we've got it is literally, I am calling it Houston. Do you know what I mean, for our listeners?
Yeah.
That I'm calling such a big problem. It is in those movies like Houston, we've got a problem, and I'm like, oh my God, this is serious Houston situation.
So, has this ever happened before in the history of the ACIO that recorded that we've had
in recording, or let's say because immediately once I get this, Chloe said that, okay, to me, and I tried to pick up all the possible sources, valid sources, and I like, okay, all of them. It was like 2 dozens of them, more. It was like 28, 30. All of them said, yeah, this is true. And I'm like, oh my God. And I am in the middle of nowhere. I mean, from your point of view. And of course, immediately I contacted HQ. I mean, headquarters. And I said, okay, just try to tell me if you will get any of those records. Try to guess what? This never ever happened. And I will tell you, in our initial context of existence, I mean, in context of existence you are right now, this is crazy. Oh my God, I don't know what we will do.
But has it happened in other contexts of existence where you can figure it out by what they did?
And that's the problem, Jessica. Look, this is the stuff. Each context of existence, they got their own, how can I say it, way how time is flowing, So for them, or let's say what works for them doesn't necessarily will work for us, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean?
But that's, what other options do you have?
Okay. Can you ask me easier questions?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just an area that could be explored because you don't have much time.
Ah, okay, I like you.
I mean,
sorry. This is nervous laugh. Oh my God.
no,
give me a second.
We can implode inside ourselves, or something weird like that can happen, right?
Yeah. Give me a second. I will tell you. Let's say what this. I don't want to say 100%, okay? But what it looks like. They started a brand new type of reaction in CERN fusion reactor, okay? And we know that they want to create, quotes in quotes, sun on Earth. I'm like, hey guys, I think this is not a good idea. And this happened. I mean, sorry for my accent, but I am really, I don't know what the heck should I say. This is bad.
So they created a sun on Earth?
No, give me a second. They want to create fusion reaction, okay? So this is pretty much, or it will be pretty much, sun on earth reaction. Do you know what I mean? But the stuff is that they are in perfect phase, okay? That means perfectly aligned with those four huge reactors in dump, you know, deep underground military base. That means dump. It definitely doesn't mean that somebody is stupid. Just FII, you know. Those huge four monarch with reactors in what it is, U.S. northeast, in Canadian, U.S. Canadian borders near Great Lakes. Okay, and I think that that was start of it. Let's say it that way. That was first. That was first phase. Second phase was that those twins of had a show, and
Patrick.
Patrick Wilson, but no, don't call him Patrick Wilson.
Or
Let's say Lynch, yeah. Martin Burke, aka Lynch, yeah. That they were born. They were not born. Of course they were, but let's say they are old enough to start to go on missions. Okay, that is second part, or let's say second stage. And third stage was that we've got yesterday, because this is for info of all the listeners. This show is recorded on March 1st, okay? So yesterday, February 29th, 2024, because this is very important, okay? We've got leap year, okay? That means time, do you know what I mean? It's some sort of in uncomfortable zone. Do you know what I am saying? Time itself. It itself, time, don't like something unusual. Do you know what I mean? It is like pretty much, we will say, nah, we don't want to have 24 hours. We need, or let's say we want 26 or maybe 28 hours in the day. And time will look at you and will say, nah, what? Do you know what I mean? If time will be or is alive being, what I am saying it is, because everything has its own how can I say it? Consciousness. Do you know what I mean? At least from my point of view. Even, of course we know plants have its own consciousness. Rocks, do you know what I mean? Everything has its own consciousness. And time will look at you, wait, hey, all the time you want to say it, all the time. So sorry, this is crazy. This is paradox. You are saying 24, and now why in the world you want to have 26 or 28 hours in each day? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So it's something like that, and that was the last stage. From my point of view, they, aka Monarch, and you know, rest of the negative corporations, or let's say corporations with negative influence, okay? Just by the way, all of them are listed on our website, just by the way. And the stuff is that it is perfectly aligned, and that is the last stage, or was, my bad, okay? And it cracks time. It now, let's say, it doesn't make any sense for me, like, okay, this happened, that happened, okay, but after what happened yesterday, just by the way, what happened yesterday, okay, man, it makes perfect sense. Oh my God. I'm just saying, Jessica, look, because sometimes, let's say, the answers even to most complicated, crazy complicated questions, they are standing, or let's say lying just in front of you, and you simply don't see them. Sorry, I'm saying all kind of.
So here's what it says. What would happen if time ended? Nothing can occur without time. After those seconds, the energy of every object will be conserved. The light would also freeze. Distance, which equals velocity or time. It doesn't matter what the speed of light is when no time passes. No distance is traveled. The gravitational field wouldn't change at all, and etc.
Jessica, can I say something, please?
Sure.
Okay. Give me a second. I never said time ended. What I said, time is somehow, let's say, distorted. Let's say.
No, I know that. It's true. You didn't say specifically that it ended, but I'm showing the importance of time here.
Sorry, my bad. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
If
That.
time paused or stopped, which is possibly like a crack, there would be no events. Gravity is the way particles with mass energy mutually influence one another, altering their path through space-time. If time stopped, nothing would change. Gravity would be moot. The idea would be meaningless.
This is 100% true. Everything, yeah. And that's the problem from my point of view, because Walrider core is now not super active, hyperactive, because they pretty much are all the time, but it is literally they are all the time, everywhere, hyperactive, right? I mean, the Walrider, because finally they were able to start Walrider. I mean, as a hive mind, aka the mindset of unbeatable and unstoppable soldier, you know? Yeah.
So there's Walrider.
Mm-hmm. And give me a second. And that's the problem, that they need to save tremendous amount of energy. And try to guess how. That means they cannot get this energy to erasing memories, or let's say interchanging memories of the people. They are in dumps, and they are making experiments of on those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the reason. That's why they were doing this.
Well, we've had plenty of people activated and saying some weird things about us, or just coming out of the woodwork. It's getting very strange.
Now, everything made perfect sense.
Yeah, and there was another thing too, Peter. I think I discussed it with you yesterday, that I saw that they were using these white vehicles. It looked like military buses or government buses, and they were transporting people off-world and then bringing them back, and then off-world again, bringing them back, and then taking them into like a prison planet. And I was looking at that with someone that I was doing a session with. And
just by the way, sorry for interrupting you. I know it is impolite, but I need to say this because I will forget it. They made a clone. Yeah, Jessica, they can make clone. Once they can make clone of people, clones, multiple clones. Why in the world they cannot make clone of planet? They made multiple clones of Jupiter, and bam, they've got this huge Bacho Bay type-ish prison. Do you know what I mean?
What kind of prison?
Butcher Bay. You never heard about that?
No, can you type that, please?
Butcher Bay. Give me a second. Okay, like a butcher, like somebody who is making with meat. Do you know what I mean? Butcher.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Butcher. Yeah, butcher. My bad. Sorry. Sorry. And Bay. You know Bay.
Butcher Bay.
Bay. Yeah.
What is it? What is that? What's a Butcher Bay?
Give me a second. It is a name of this huge gulag-ish type prison with extremely crazy conditions in there for the most dangerous prisoners. You never heard about that?
Is that like from Riddick?
Yeah, exactly.
We've talked about Riddick. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Butcher Bay Correctional Facility.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Theris system. Thelris system.
Yeah, you are right.
Prison colony and its planet. But you know who we were seeing is we were seeing him, Lex Luthor. And look who's there. And look who plays it.
Oh my God.
It's Monarch, right?
Yep.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
We're seeing him. There's Lex Luthor in this one called Ra's al Ghul. And then we saw all these ghouls, but that goes back to Walrider, doesn't it?
Yeah, you are right.
Walrider, Callisto Protocol.
Ghouls are eating human meat.
Yes.
Just by the way.
Well, I don't know if they're cannibals, if they'd have to be human first, but they're humanoid. The original concept came from pre-Islamic Arabic region.
But give me a second, they exist. I swear to God.
Oh, I believe you.
Wait, give me a second. I was on the multiple missions in that area, okay? Middle and near Middle East, and I saw them. They exist. I swear to God, okay?
Are they the undead? Like they can't die?
Yeah, exactly.
If you shoot at them, do they die?
You can do everything. They will not.
So what do you do then? What do you do with them? Just try to get away from them?
Yeah. No, why you are laughing?
Well, I mean, I can imagine. So when you saw them, you shot at them and then took off?
Give me a second. They cannot climb.
Oh, so then you get into a higher location?
Yes. And on either higher location or on very high trees.
Why is it that they can't climb?
Jessica, please don't ask me.
It's like
I am not expert in this field.
I mean, they look like they could be physically fit, but it's just like something in the brain that allows us to figure out how to climb. Is that something like that?
Yes, this is pretty much like, how can I say it? We can figure out pretty much how to speak, how to recognize what is just a noise, what are the words, how to write, how to read, how to calculate. And let's say they can climb, but only to very low, very low part of the trees or something like that. They cannot figure it pretty much. But they are so fast You need to be very near. You need to be very near to something high, because it's pretty much like, for example, okay, you can consider bear, okay? Do you believe that bear can run fast? No, but it is like that. So ghoul, nah, it's crap. I don't believe ghoul can run fast. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ghoul can run so fast.
They have them as a demonic being.
Yeah, yeah. And just
Instead
by
of
the way, do you know what that
perfect.
ghouls are in Australia? And
I-
they got some sort of hybrids with kangaroos, and they can jump. Oh my god. It is like 50 feet. It is like 15 meters. They can jump so, and they don't have tail, just by the way. They don't have tail. But they jump, and I was like, oh my god, what the heck? Because once I moved here permanently permanently in Australia, I'm like, I was like, is this being like, this being is known for me from somehow, and I was like, what the heck should I do? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I was like, nah, this is something weird. And then I was like, oh my god, this is ghoul. And then once I saw how fast it was, uh, jumping, and I was like, oh my god. And just by the way, they can smell very good. They can smell very good on hundreds of meters, maybe few kilometers, few miles. Oh my god, they don't have good sight.
Yeah.
They don't have good sight, but they can smell you. Oh yeah. Bad news bears.
Yeah, like a predator.
Yeah, exactly. And they can hear you very good, just by the way. Yeah.
It's interesting. Edgar Allan Poe, who was a writer in the 1800s, and I also have a very strong connection to him. I was his wife years ago, and that died or whatever. He said that neither man nor woman, neither brute nor human, they are thought to assume disguises to ride on dogs and hares, hares being a rabbit, and set fire at night to lure travelers away from the main roads. That's what he said about ghouls.
You know what? That's pretty much what they are. Because give me a second, okay? Mainly, and this is it, give me a second. Mainly, they are from Middle and Near East. Near and Middle East, but you can meet them in most parts of the world. But mostly, they are, Arabic Peninsula and all kind of that stuff. So let's say, give me a second. In the first place, okay, back to time, to the main topic, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All kind of those weird stuff, as are ghouls and all kind of that stuff, you can, you as we and our listeners, whoever, okay, they can, or we can meet all kind of weird creatures very easy. So give me a second. This is not about if you are targeted individual program and they will just kidnap you and do my lab experiments and all kind of that stuff. No, this is not about that. Whoever they did that, because it was very well planned, and it took tremendous amount of energy, resources, time, and all kind of that stuff. Once what they did, okay, and they opened time portals. Look, Jessica. Did they ever consider one important stuff? That creatures from ancient mythology can be here just like that. And they will. Believe me, they will. Because scientists are making, I don't want to say fun from it, but they are saying, nah, they are only myths, you know? But mind world scientists are making pretty much fun from themselves once most of their projects, for example, astronomy, okay? All of them are, those projects are named by mythical creatures. Apollo, you know, Artemis, and all kind Gemini, you know.
Yeah.
This is funny for me.
Why isn't anyone intervening and telling CERN and these scientists that are just doing random experiments that are putting us in danger? Why don't they stop them? How come no one is stopping them?
Jessica, because they don't believe nothing. I
It
mean, give
doesn't
me a
matter
second.
what they believe. They should be in prison for planning, you know, for carelessly putting everyone at risk. That is potentially a catastrophic murder, a mass
Yep.
murder.
Because they believe
humans, for everyone.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yep, not for animals, for any type of natural life, for the earth itself. This is a crime. Why isn't anyone doing anything?
Because we as an organization were talking even to UN, okay? Because UN is UN, you know. Then to European Union, but pretty much it is worthless because Switzerland is not in UN, you know that. And we talked to multiple times to this like world leaders. I mean, not leaders as how can I say it? Specific people, but you know, world superpowers, governments, and all kind of that stuff, and nobody is taking this serious because they are like, nah, it's not a big deal, or let's say, why in the world you are bothering us with nonsenses? It was just a mythology. And I was like, once they are keep, because all of those stuffs were recorded, okay? And I'm like, are they that blindfolded? Hey, those people, okay, it was, I don't know, like 2, 3, maybe 4, 5,000 years ago. Okay, I'm okay. I keep my mouth shut. Okay, fine. But those people were not making stuff up. Do you know what I mean?
Peter, how much, you know, I mean, if these people are getting paid to look the other way, but there's so much criminal behavior happening in these upper levels right now.
You are right.
And still, that's not our problem. I mean, there should be someone that is just stopping it, you know, what needs to be done.
But Jessica, please, which kind of authority we have in order to get them in prison? I mean, as an organization, no, we don't have authority for that. Let's say, our agenda is to deal with ETs, okay? And all kind of the problems they can cause. And believe me, they are causing many problems being on Earth, okay? So this is the stuff. And
well, there won't be an Earth, so then none of that's going to be important if they continue doing these things. There won't be an Earth to be thinking about, because it will just implode or do collapse in some weird way.
But Jessica, it is pretty much, we are right here right now, and believe me that in something, let's say, just imagine, okay, the worst case scenario that something bad happened. I don't want to say what, not because I don't want, but because I don't know, okay? Something bad happened, terrible,
like the cracks right now. That is something bad that happened.
But give me a second. That crack time cracks, let's say, will cause something, let's say, let's call it biblical, okay? Something like how is it called? Judgment Day, for example, right? But this is only one context of existence, and let's call it one point of view, and it will be, and we are perfectly fine, quotes in quotes. So it will be another you, another me, and another our team. Do you know what I mean? And this is what they count for. I mean the scientists on CERN, the people in Monarch, and all kind of that stuff. No, I am not kidding you. No, our honest, beloved listeners, I am not kidding you, okay? This is the situation, how it is. If you like it or not. I know it is crazy.
No,
I know.
it makes sense what you're saying, because I want to show you something. I don't know if you are aware of this show called Mr. Robot.
To be perfectly honest, not.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mr. Robot.
It is TV show?
It's a TV show. I'm going to share it with you.
Okay.
It's with a guy by the name of Rami Malek. He's Egyptian descent.
Okay.
But he's American.
Okay.
He is a hacker, right? So he decided that what these corporations were doing is they were stealing from the people. They were creating all this usury, right, or taxations and in penalties on loans.
Please, I want to say something. I know it is very polite to interrupt you, but give me a second. They are pretty much describing the situation how it is.
Right. That's why, someone mentioned you should watch this, and I kind of binged on watching it because I felt like it was important, because this guy who comes from a dysfunctional family, he has like a lot of, he has altars, and one of his altar is his father who died, right? And, but his father who also, abused him in some ways too, psychologically, so he's fractured. But on the other hand, he's a genius. So he decides that he's going to take out his anger on the elite who are oppressing the people. And in the process, he meets this group, this dark, they're called the Black Army, I guess, or the Dark Army. And it turns out to be this, the Chinese politician, or the Minister of Defense. And who calls himself, he also has an alter ego, which he calls himself the White Rose, which is he dresses as a woman. Okay.
But I will tell you something, okay? The stuff is, I don't want to say all, but most of geniuses are, let's say, if not absolutely crazy, and I mean literally crazy, like a psychiatric diagnosis, okay, then let's say at least most of those geniuses are, let's call them weirdos. What do you think? Am I right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate being called weirdos, but I think we'll say eccentric. So from
okay. Sorry for that. Eccentric, yeah.
Yeah. Because I even have some eccentric ways. You have some eccentric ways. I mean, because we're kind of more on the fringe of way of thinking, and because of the way I see things that are not typical for other people to see stuff. And the same with you, that you have your gifts and abilities. So, but that makes you eccentric.
Oh, yeah, you are goddamn right.
So when you have, a different portion of the brain that is a little more than others, but on the other areas, there's some problems. So that's why, and I understand these type of people, and I think they sort of understand me as well.
Yeah, that's the reason why we are so close. And I will tell you, okay, I don't want to say which, but I got military training from 4 elite units. What is extremely rare in the world. Not only like, I don't know, for US Army or I don't know, for UK or French Army or something like that. And, you know, I will tell you something, okay? I was full of energy once I was, or let's say when I was 18 years old, and I emigrated from Eastern Bloc to Germany, but West Germany, it's important. And I will say you something, okay? I was full of energy and I want to do something. And many people, they are watching this show, they are like, what does it mean something? And this is the stuff. If you are looking for a purpose and you don't know which kind of purpose it is or it should be, I will tell you something. Army will give you a purpose. Okay? Army will give you a purpose. And just by the way, I've got some, let's say, military trainer, and it's most toughest one, you know, and it's in military, it's in US military, and it is she's female, and all the people are like, what? Why? And because all of those trainers, they are tough, you know, and rough. And then she came to the scene. She will come to the scene, and those young boys, they are like, oh my God, why in the world? This is a catastrophe. So I'm just saying that so many women are in the army. I'm just saying, and that's the stuff. If you don't know what to do with your life, you go and you are looking, you are searching for a purpose. So many people will say, nah, this is not true.
You're relating this to your life, and
yeah, give me a second, because here. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
And this is how you ended up in the ACIO, or you were already in the ACIO when you were younger.
Give me a second. No, I was 20 years old. 20. So I was 2 years in army already. But I'm just saying, because look what is happening. How many young people, what does it mean purpose for them? They want to, and they are going on pub, on club, you know, on disco. They are drinking alcohol like a crazy. They are using drugs. I don't want to say all of them, okay? Many of them are students. They are doing their stuff very good, okay? But mainstream, especially in Western countries, Western Europe, US, you know, Canada, Ireland, down under, Australia, New Zealand, in Japan, and they are doing that, okay? And my question is, what the heck? This is the purpose? This is not the purpose. This is crazy. And if they are not doing this, okay, that's great. But people are asking, okay, older people with certain, you know, experiences, life experiences, they are asking children in elementary school, what is your dream job? Try to guess what happened. Most of them are saying influencer, and I'm like, what? Do you know what I mean, Jessica? It doesn't make any sense for me. I mean, give me a second. If somebody is doing YouTube or something like that with very good, high quality content, I don't have anything against it. But percentage, what do you think? If I will say 5%, I am very optimistic. 2-3%. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so there are some people that have some really good. I have learned a lot, and it's a good resource sometimes to learn from other people that have knowledge in like specific areas, you know, like how to fix a certain thing, or But on the other hand, there are people that are making so much money and they're doing, contributing a lot of bad ideas.
Yes, but give me a second. This is it. Absolutely, from my point of view, I don't want to say nonsense, but let's say something what is not bringing any people, nothing, I don't want to say nothing new, but do you know what I mean? Like, it is crap. From my point of view, it is crap. You know what I mean? Because if you can learn something about history, if you learn something what is happening around you, and it is literally, I mean, give me a second, reportage, but they are not journalists. But do you know what I'm trying to say? For example, they studied as journalists and they opened YouTube channel or something like that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It is great. But how many of those young people are like that? Let's say young people, and I am not telling extremely young, but let's say till the age of 30, for example. From our point of view, they are young. Am I right?
Yeah.
And this is it. Something is terribly wrong with young population. I don't understand what is going on, but something is terribly wrong.
They're not looking at realistic options for the future. I mean, they're emulating things that are not purposeful, which is going to hurt. It hurts humanity. Yep. If people don't have something that is actually contributing in a positive way. So can I get back to this?
No. It's I was just sidetracking again. Sorry, away. Sorry, okay. My bad. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So yeah, we talked about him being eccentric, but he does break the system, and then it doesn't turn out the way he thought it was going to happen, which it ends up hurting the average person. So he tries to fix something else. And then, he goes back and forth with this dark army, and the dark army is trying to leverage, I think, materials or wealth from the Congo. And so they're using these kids that have problems like that, have lost parents, and, helping them to get back at the system that took their parents away, because they had cancer from like chemicals or, something that wasn't dumped properly. So you have, this whole scenario where these people, young people that don't really feel that there's a purpose for life and they're angry. And then this dark army comes in, is using them. And I see this a lot in our world where people are vulnerable and going and selling out, not realizing how much more damage they're doing. They're having the people destroy their own region, right?
Yeah.
This nuclear, like a bomb in a nuclear plant, to essentially completely destroy New York City or the world, or the US, only because they wanted the Congo. But see, when it goes even deeper, where this white rose that I mentioned earlier believes that it's okay if everything just gets destroyed because it's another reality to go to. And in this scenario, he actually is it plays out where he's in that bomb, and then he finds himself in another reality. And he goes, oh, White Rose was right, but it was something else. And then he realizes it was another trick. It was another trick, or White Rose actually believed it, right? So it's exactly what you're saying, Peter, where they're playing around with CERN and they're like, oh, well, we'll just come out into another reality and it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, but give me a second. From their point of view, it's like, nah, okay, we screwed. We will make another try. But let's take it from this point of view. Yes, okay. Yes, okay. It is, or let's say it will be like that. But till which point? Because look, as time has its own let's say, limits, creating those bubble realities, or let's say pocket realities, backup realities. This is the same case scenario. It is, or let's say it have its own limit, and then boom, and what the heck they will do? You know, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Because it will not have the stability of the original reality because it's manufactured or it's a replication of the original, right?
Yep.
So there's more flaws and many things that can go wrong. So we can also talk about Fringe, because Fringe would have, you know, they would mess around with something in one reality and then it was bleeding through into the other, right? The problems.
But I will tell you what's the main problem main problem for us, but for them, not a big deal, because they don't believe that something can happen. I mean, something like that can happen, okay? It is pretty much like they don't believe, give me a second, I will tell you, they don't believe that something bad can happen in RMBK reactor, in type reactor in Chernobyl, okay? That's the stuff. And we know what happened in Chernobyl. We know it.
Yeah, it's another experimentation.
Yep. It is RMBK reactor. Yep.
What is it?
RMBK reactor. RMBK reactor. Yep. Yeah. Because pretty much what is it about? Okay, I will tell you something. It is very important. Let's say once we are talking about time, it is very important, because so many people are Soviets, they were Russian. They are not Russians, but in Ukraine, but the people, they are, let's say, they were in charge at the time. Most of them, they were Russians. And this is the stuff I will tell you, okay? RMBK is certain type of reactor, and then you've got 3 or 4 numbers after that, what is pretty much the standard output power of the reactor in standard regime, okay? And that's the stuff. No, you don't have this number, because there were wide variation of the reactor in megawatts, okay? This was a reactor 1000. So standard output was 1 gigawatt, 1000 megawatts, okay? And the stuff is that not so many engineers in former Soviet Union knew that in late 70s, let's say first half of 80s, it was pretty much the peak of Cold War, and both superpowers, aka US and USSR, so let's say Soviet Union, they were manufacturing atomic warheads as a crazy, you know. And not so many people knew one thing, that it was so desperate need for plutonium, crystal clear plutonium, that they started to produce plutonium in conventional reactors. Just by the way, this reactor, not the reactor, Ford reactor, the whole Chernobyl nuclear power plant was no exception. And Anatoly Stepanovich Dyatlov, who was in charge in this shift, this guy, who was in charge in this shift, in night shift, when the whole incident happened, he knew that. But I will tell you something. He didn't believe that. He simply didn't believe that. He was like, nah, this doesn't make any sense. It's regime.
Here, right?
Yeah, you are right. You are right. Anatoly Stefanovich Dyatlov. Yep. Yeah. And the stuff is, he simply didn't believe that. He knew, despite he knew, he didn't believe that. And there is one important thing, Anatoly, Dyatlov, my bad, but Stepanovich, that was his full name. And there was one important stuff that they lowered, they get the output power from the reactor. The standard and safe way how to do so, it is military terminology, the phrase, how to get it down, it was approximately in between 2 and 3% per hour. But they do it in 50% in less than half hour, less than 30 minutes, because they need to interchange the power and control power on all the reactors, and they were changing the fuel rods on 4th reactor, and they didn't knew that the 4th reactor was, quotes in quotes, poisoning itself with very unstable xenon. And that we know rest of the story. This is it. And just by the way, why it was so toxic, I mean radioactivity and all kind of the stuff, we know. But why they didn't get it in the final, how can I say it, examination, how much plutonium was just spread out from the reactor. It was crazy. Because this is it what I said. They were changing constantly the fuel rods, uranium fuel rods, because they were so fast, because they were manufacturing pure plutonium. You know what I mean? In all the Soviet Union, it was crazy at that time. Just by the way, this is the stuff, and you are saying like, why in the world you are saying this, Peter? This is the stuff because Soviets were under pressure of time, and let's say in the very start of the 80s, US were in big lead of, in number, in counts of nuclear warheads, a nuclear, let's say conventional nuclear weapons, and then warheads for rockets and all kind of that stuff. But in very short period of time, amount of time, this is it, amount of time, okay, that's why I'm saying this. Soviets, they outnumbered them, and Americans, we are like, what happened in Soviet Union? What the heck are those Russians doing? And that's the stuff. They were doing this in a common, okay, commonly widespread, widely used conventional reactors. It was crazy.
You mean they were manipulating time to do certain things because of it?
Yes, this is it. Because they can do it. They've got Dubno, They've got Dubno, not so far away from Moscow. It is very similar to CERN, and it is, let's say, even more advanced and enhanced Dubno. Dubna, yeah, Dubna, something like that. And not Dubno.
Not meant to Dubai. I know. How do you spell it, Peter?
Not just Dubna.
Dubna with it no L at the end.
Yeah. Dubna or Dubno. I don't know which one, but I think it is Dubna. I think it is Dubna. Yeah, exactly. And it is so well built. They've got crazy stuff, crazy installations. It is so crazy, Jessica. Believe me, it's not so far away. And from Moscow, and what they have there, look how luxurious it is there. Look, and this is it, just for the scientific purposes. Look.
Yep.
This is it. So from their point of view, it is, or let's say it was at the time, super highly advanced. And from my point of view, in certain, or let's say from certain point of views, it is much far ahead in comparison with CERN. And they can do it, but they, quotes in quotes, overdo it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? In certain point of views. And Chernobyl was one of the, how can I say it, one of the coincidences what happened. Do you know what I mean?
This article came out in 2022 saying the Czech-Russian nuclear research terminated over 60 years. Is that not true?
Give me a second. Give me a second. What do you mean terminated? That
nuclear research terminated after over 60 years.
Give me a second. None of this is true, just by the way. Everything works.
Now, the Czech Republic has announced it will terminate its long-term cooperation, maybe, with the Russian Institute following the country's invasion of the Ukraine. Okay, so that's what that meant. That was political.
Yes, but this is stuff. Journalists are saying something. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Something. Because it is, quotes in quotes, good to read. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, I see what this is saying. It's not that the facility is terminated, but yeah, they were just bringing that up. Let me see if there's another article. It came up probably because of his a kind of newsletter of some sort.
So this is it, Jessica. The accidents and incidents like that, they were very, let's say, common in Soviet Union at that time, because they were doing crazy stuff, and they've got many nuclear accidents like that. But the radiation cloud went very deep into, let's say, not an inhabited part of Russia. There are no people living, no people, so they were not reported anything. You know what I mean? But this happened because they were like, it is fine, another big deal, only another experiment we will make another time. I don't want to say it. Can we say it a time anomaly, Jessica? Can we call it?
Yeah, I mean, you think that's all it's going to be is time anomalies, or is it going to be?
Give me a second. What I am saying, that once they will start to massively produce plutonium in Chernobyl, okay, and it was crazy because once they will finish, construction works at 5th and 6th block of Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It should be the largest nuclear power plant in the world at the time. Give me a second. At that time, you know. And the stuff is that they were in so desperate need for pure plutonium, and they were, because they know what can happen with this RMBK reactor. They know, okay, or let's say they knew, and they were like, okay, why in the world not? But something went terribly wrong in this Dubna facility. Don't ask me what. I don't know. I am not expert in this field, but we know rest of the story. We know what happened.
All right, so
Give me a second, Jessica. Did you know the background stuff about this? Did you know
No.
that?
no, I wasn't aware of the Dubna facility.
No, never. You never
No.
heard about that?
I haven't.
And
I
this
believe
is
you.
sorry,
It
go
makes
ahead.
sense.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said it makes sense. I just didn't know where it was located.
Okay. Yeah. They multiple times used it for manufacturing pure plutonium because they were in so desperate need for it. You know, it was so crazy at that time. Oh my God.
So
And now,
what are the effects that the ACIO is recording right now after these time cracks? I mean, aside from Chloe being the first one to notice it, is that what happened? Chloe was the first one.
yeah, definitely. This is absolutely crazy because we've got so many reports of people being missing, and we were like, oh my God, it is 10, maybe 1,000 times bigger. Sorry, my bad. A TIRAP program, Targeted Individual Research Advanced Program, TIRAP. It is 10, maybe 12, maybe 15 times bigger than, I mean, according counts of the people all around the world, as we, let's say, as we expected. And we were like, what? So many people are missing in less than 24 hours. It doesn't make sense. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So they've taken them to these cloned realities.
Yes, exactly.
Or like cloned Earth, because they've been talking about the new Earth because that was written in the Bible. So if they can create something that looks like a new Earth, but it's not, and that's why they're trying to trick people into saying, I want to leave this planet, and then they're getting permission to take them somewhere else.
Just by the way, yeah. Yes, you are goddamn right.
It's a TIRAD, so it's targeted.
No, please. TIRAP. P as me, as a Peter. Targeted Individual Research Advanced Program. TIRAP. This is absolutely crazy, Jessica. Oh my God. We were not expecting the, I mean, we know that something big is about to happen because it was way too silent for so long, but we never ever expected this. We were like, oh my God, this is
No, I mean, it was just a matter of time. They've been messing around with these colliders, and then it became really kind of popular for other nations to start developing them, because I think there's some in Sweden as well, right? Isn't there? That's another location.
Yes, you are right. Yes.
Yeah, because I remember we visited Sweden at the time when they were starting to install it. And
Yes, I know.
yeah, I mean, yesterday we went somewhere and we got disoriented. It was really weird. Like, you know, I mean, for me, it's one of the, you know, as much as I have abilities, one of the areas is my sense of direction is a little bit off. I don't know if it's because of the way I tune into time, like you say. So for me to get lost is you know, like not too surprising. I always end up finding my way back to wherever, but for some other people to be lost is not normal. And we had a bit of a weird moment there. But then again, we were in a place where there were fairies.
No, please, not. I don't want to talk about fairies. People are like, well, what is your deal with fairies? People, they are watching the show, but no, I don't like fairies.
Yeah,
they are tricky.
And I hope
they are tricky.
People probably think that I'm like changing the subject or being or getting into something that's not important, but the fairies also are an indicator of what's going on too. So we did get kind of lost and a little disoriented about where we were at.
Oh,
actually
yes.
went into a few circles in the same place.
Give me a second. Fairies are, it is very, very, let's say, it is a sign that you are in bad place and you should leave that place.
Well, it was an amusement park, but I had no idea that the whole thing was about fairies. And I felt like I needed to check it out and see what this place was like or what they had going on there. But anyhow, we got some footage of something that I wanted to share with you.
I will tell you something. This is my experience, okay? If you are meeting fairies, nah, this is not good place to be. Just go as fast as you can, far away.
But yeah, it was weird. I mean, there was like it was a very animated type of place in the Netherlands, and I'm trying to think of the name of the park, the Efteling Park, and so there was all these like weird fairy situations, and I knew we had to go there yesterday. I couldn't figure out why. I mean, I've been to Disney and all that other. It was a whole different experience. This place had actual fairies there. I know they did. You know, whereas it's more like there's definitely entities there over at Disney, but it's not.
Give me a second. And how should I make a difference between not actual fairies and actual fairies? That's my question.
Kind of more dark energies, right?
Oh my God. I don't like what I'm hearing.
But we found something that sounded, and so they had a lot of like, you know how they have like puppeted type of like showcasing different types of puppets and singing.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Oh.
Hoepla, niemand weet dat ik repelstiltje heet. Hoepla, hoepla.
Oh my God! I don't like this laugh. No.
That's the laugh that you always tell us about, that you hear.
Oh my God! Give me a second.
That's the exact laugh that you usually tell us and how they sound.
Yes, exactly. This is like. Oh my God! And you are smiling right now. Oh, great! How great! Thank you very much. And exactly those entities, but not only fairies. So many entities. I once I faced weird, or I am facing weird entity. This is this laugh. Oh.
They're like how do you call them? Like elemental kind of, whether they're fairies or elves or gnomes or one of those trolls. Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of them. Sprites. I don't know.
Oh my God, I don't like this. Nope, I don't like this.
So as soon as we heard it, we were like, You know, that's exactly the way you describe it.
Yes, and I can laugh like that very good.
So after that, after we videotaped that, we got lost. We were going in a circle.
And I will tell you why. Because you invaded their space. And that was a warning. Why in the world you are in my space? That was a warning. Give me a second. You should not mess around with them. It's like, nah, they've got their own space, and just don't, nah, don't be in my space.
Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to invade their space, but I know what you're saying. They get upset about different things that we wouldn't.
Because look, despite you wasn't trying to invade the space, it's kind of hard to explain them. You know.
Yeah, no, you can't really convince them that you didn't have bad intentions, right?
It is the same crap as me and jinns. Oh my god, my crazy experience with jinns. They can manipulate. Just by the way, talking about time, they can manipulate time in crazy ways too. Oh my god. I was talking to Jin, and I will swear to God, it was like, let's say 5-10 minutes, okay, 15 minutes at the most, and it was like very early afternoon, like, don't know, 2:30 or 3 p.m., something like that. Look, you know, and then bam, like that, and we were in the middle of the night. It was so crazy. Oh my god.
So
once I'm even looking at this, I've got weird feelings in my guts. Nah.
This is like he's like a joker amongst the fairies, a wizard like Joker.
Oh my god. Nah, I don't like this.
It can be very. I'm gonna see if I could find some other images. I can't really read the language, but
somehow.
Yeah. Of course, they have like all sorts of rides and everything, but these strange, like they have fairies, they have jinn, like lots of jinn, and some of.
Oh yeah, thank you very much for meeting with Jin. Oh no.
Yeah, there were jinn, there were fairies, there were elves.
Give me a second. Why you are like, nah, it's not a big deal to meet with Jin. Okay, I will make a short trip to Near and Middle East, and you will be like, you will change your mind about jinns. Believe me.
I've been interacting with jinn for a long time, so I know
what is your deal? What do you think about them?
I don't know if I'm somehow linked with them culturally. I mean, somewhere in my family line is, you know, Northern African or Moroccan or whatever. That's where my name comes from. So somewhere, you know, there's something ancient there, and they've been around me. You know, I've had a sense of their or presence. Say it like that.
Oh.
I'm trying to find out though. Yeah, if I can get some of those pictures. But anyhow, so I thought.
But you can go in for English, Jessica. You can go. You got an L, and you can go in English. Yep.
Right here.
Yeah. No. English. Yeah. This is it. Nice. Perfect.
The roller coaster is not. Yeah, you see the art stuff. There's a world of Sinbad.
Yeah.
Sea in Sirocco.
Oh my God. I don't like those parks, because those parks, you know, eh, all of those kind of, let's say, mythology, you know, creatures for children from fairy tales. No, it's not just like that. They are real, but so many people don't believe it.
Well, and what it does is it activates them, especially children, really bring these things to life. They pull them in.
I know, because children they are having abilities, just by the way.
They have a lot of abilities. Yeah.
But why in the world adults don't believe children?
They should, because children see things. They see a lot of things.
No, Jessica, but this is my question. Why in the world don't believe them? Most times.
I don't know why. I think because they feel that children are taking things in a different perspective. Which I agree with you, it doesn't make any sense.
Because as you said, children, they are seeing so many stuff what we are not. Like it or not, it is true.
I don't know. I felt like I needed to go there. It was weird, but I'm not surprised that this, and then now you're telling me about the cracks, but that's when I saw that we felt disoriented towards the end of the night, or the end of the day. So,
and you are saying it, Jessica, during day of night of the night, during day of the end of the day. And I will tell you why. Because now you cannot 100% or let's say perfectly determine what is day and what is night. And people will be, what the heck is going on inside there, is just making things up. And I will tell you why not. Give me a second, I will tell you why. Because day can be in the night, aka day can be, let's say, you will open your eyes, dark is everywhere pretty much, and that is the day, you know, and vice versa. Because time has cracks, so many cracks. It is, as I said, like you've got huge table of glass. Once you smash it on the floor, you cannot get it together anymore, you know. It is the same situation happened with time. So let's say this, from my point of view, this can be mini series about time. And from my point of view, this is the best best point when we can stop the first part of the series, mini series. What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds like a good place to stop, and we can then see what happens. I mean, any advice for people, Peter, regarding time?
Just to stay alert, let's say, to make correlation if time from their own personal points of views just doesn't flow way much faster. This is the best part of my best advice from my point of view possible.
And we're also recommending that people, you know, leave comments if they've had any anomalies, and we can look at that as well.
Yes, and just by the way, people, please don't consider me as a fool. But if you are feeling weird according time, okay, you need to go certain, let's say, I don't want to say glass, but something, do you know what I mean? You can have either salt or sugar. I will tell you why. Because if something is something is about to happen, you just will get it on the table or on the floor, and it will not fall. It will not fail.
What do you mean? Like it will be on the, it won't fall off the table?
No, give me a second. Either fall off the table to the floor, or if you have it in certain small glass or something, you simply will get it. You want to get it on the either on table or on the floor, and it will not happen. I saw it on my own eyes.
You mean you go to drop it, but it won't go down?
Yes, exactly. You want to drop it, and it will not go down. I mean, I don't want to say the whole small glass or something, but I mean jar. Do you know what I mean? But what do you want to have? Sugar, salt, pepper, something like that, or everything pretty much. So this is very good indicator.
And then what do you do?
If something like that happened, then guys, you are in big trouble. There is pretty much nothing against it. It is, give me a second again, it is. Small jar of honey. Open it and just taste it to your tongue, and it will help.
That will help bring you back into time.
Yes, exactly. It always works. It always works. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds
so
good.
as contradictionary, the best way possible, because salt, of course, salt is salty, so use salt, and other way, use honey, because it is, it tastes like a sugar-ish taste. Do you know what I mean?
Salt energetically does some things. People say that salt protects them.
Yes, but give me a second. Protects them, but it is also it can be also a very good indicator. You know what I'm trying to say.
And so the ACIO is working on trying to fix this crack, and
of course we all started immediately.
Can we all vote that these scientists need to go to court and go to prison or something for what they're doing?
Give me a second. We are working on that too. Believe me, we are.
Okay. I think if enough people complain, that then action will take place if they see the dangerous things that they're doing. Okay, so thanks for letting us know, Peter. That's really important. And everyone get their honey. Recommend some natural honey, not
natural raw honey. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, none of this stuff that has it's not real honey. It's some kind of sugar or sweetener.
Yes, you are right.
And I guess, is there any last thoughts that you have, Peter?
From my point of view, we are fine. So I want to say thank you for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel. I want to say thank you very much to all of our regular, maybe not so regular listeners, for their patience, that they stick with us till the very end of the show. And thank you very much, and hold tight, and bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Peter, and thank you, everyone, for listening. And it's better to hear the news than for us to not tell you, but I know that some people think it's not positive, but we're going to continue to work on whatever is going on. And so in case you have some kind of encounter, you recognize that you're not imagining this, that these things are actually happening. And as well as let's ask for the highest intention for those that are tampering with our reality. And thank you for your support. And please leave comments below if you care to share about anything that you've experienced. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.